Confirmation of the second Crystal Palace change is Tyrick Mitchell's arrival in the Premier League.
Tyrick, welcome home. Welcome back to Harrow. How is it to be back on this road?
It brings back a lot of memories. Like, I had a lot of good times around here. It's just a fun place. Like, growing up, there was a lot of kids and there's a lot of schools around Harrow as well, so there was just everyone knew everyone. It's a very multicultural place. There's a leisure centre down the road that we always used to go to, a park. Yeah, and we used to kickball on the road as well.
And where did you live for most of your life?
Literally right there. In that house. That top one was my mum's room and that other window was my room.
Let's go and have a look. So this one here, 26A. So how big is it inside?
It's 3-bedroom, but it's kind of small. Like, I had a lot of cousins around my age and they used to always come here. It was just like a big family, like it was all close.
What did your mum do for work?
She didn't work, like benefits and stuff, but she didn't work.
Oh, okay, so it was pretty tough in terms of things you could have or couldn't have?
Yeah, like you just had to be like, you appreciate the little things more, like, and obviously I was thankful that a lot of people around helped out.
So where did you first play football?
First was a team called Pinner Albion, like local to here, just because my cousin went, so I just went as well. And then I had a little trial at Watford. And then it just like, back then I didn't really take football as serious. And then from there I went AFC Wembley.
He's on trial at Watford as an under 10. A good friend of mine used to be a scout at QPR, John Creef, called me, said there's a really good player here. And Watford were quite keen, but he just wasn't turning up. So he's like, Abdi, this is one that you need to put your arm around and, you know, try and make sure he stays in the game. And he was just a class above everyone. He had everything, you know, technique, athletic, he had that desire. You couldn't get a word out of him at that age, you know, so we just thought, no problem, because like I said, my background is youth work, so you just have to give them their own time and their space and treat them as an individual.
It was my coaches, they used to come and pick me up. Like, my mum didn't really take me to football. Like, she there's certain times she couldn't, innit? So I would, like, I didn't really ask her to or stuff like that. So it was normally my coaches, like, stepped in more time.
Was your dad around at all?
Nah, he was in prison.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So what age were you when that happened?
Like, throughout the whole time I was in here, like, he was in prison, but then he would come out for no more than, like, a month, 2 months, and then back in. So like throughout my whole life in here, like I didn't really see him like that. Like I would visit him like once or twice, but not really.
Is he in touch with you at all?
Nah, he's in prison again right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And do you find that quite hard, or is it just something that you've always known?
Like, to be fair, like it didn't really affect me. Like it is what it is. Like at the end of the day, like I wasn't really emotional with the fact of that, because it wasn't like I didn't feel that bond. So maybe to my sister it might have been a bit different, because she might have had more of a bond, but to me it was just, I didn't really.
And do you still visit him?
Nah, I don't really talk to him like that.
Because I used to pick him up, drop him home, then go in the house, chat to mom, checking on him. He was very suspicious initially, because I could see, you know, that there was some underlying issues there. So again, with my experience and my training, you just have to just be consistent, just, you know, until he feels comfortable and confident, then he'll let you in.
Your mum, how proud is she of you being a...
Yeah, she's proud. Like every day, like every time we play a match or something, she calls me straight away, telling me how I done. And she's not really, she's a football fan, but not like a hardcore one. But I can see that she's trying to understand it, like the other teams, like, because I'm out there. Yeah.
Like, did they really bring you back here?
Yeah.
Why would they do that? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. You?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm really good. You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. All right.
Is that a family friend?
Yeah, she lived, when I was living there, she lived down the road.
Oh,
and her
really?
son and that.
So was it quite a nice community on this street then?
Yeah, like I had a few friends living down there, and one of my closest friends, he lives right there, but not he passed away, but he lived right there with his mum and stuff. not too long ago as well. This is basically my footballing memory growing up. Literally this ground here. This is where like all my skills came into fruition. This pitch here, from like here to just over there, like literally right there.
So who would come and watch you play?
My mum a few times. I didn't really like people watching me, that's the thing. I was a bit of a weirdo back then, but I didn't like people watching me.
And what kind of a player were you?
To be fair, I was more a versatile player.
We used to play him everywhere. If we were winning, put him at the back to lock up. If we were losing, put him at the top to score. He was that type of player. If you wanted to dictate the game, put him in the middle.
We had so many scouts at Brentford. Our recruitment team was incredible. We had partnerships with a number of clubs, and Tyrick's club was one of them. And we used to have games with them quite a lot. We used to bring in local teams to play at Griffin Park towards the end of the season and stuff like that.
We played against them and they invited me down to a training session in Boreham Wood. They was training in Boreham Wood at the time. And then literally I went down there one day and then they literally just gave me the kit after the session, and then just went home and showed my mum all the kit that they gave me.
Tell me about Abdi. What was he like as a coach?
He was just like someone that, like a role model, especially in the area. He was like a role model. So he used to pick me up, bring me here. Like he was just like a important figure that helped me throughout football, and especially here.
Abdi was absolutely incredible for him and loads of the kids from AFC Wembley. Talk about going above and beyond. It's ridiculous the levels he would go to make sure that Ty was at every session, he was at all the games, way more than he would ever need to do.
He hardly used to turn up, so when he first went there, the first year under 12, he wasn't bad. Under 13, he went missing. And they were calling me. They're like, oh, we can't get him. Can you get him? So I went over to the house. I said, what's happening? And then, then I got him back on track. The relationship we've got is definitely not, a play agent kind of relationship. It's more like a mentor.
The trust is so thick between the two of them. Ty won't have any worries about Abdi kind of like the challenges that you get from some agents trying to move players to earn a quick quid. That won't be the case. The case for Abdi's always been, we've got to try and find the best place for Ty to get in the team and play games, and then let's see where he goes.
When he played football, you can see it was more than it was a great escape for him, as a form of escapism. But you could see it from a young age that he really wanted to better his life. He was way more mature than most of the other boys.
He had a real desire to defend and just loved 1v1 defending, which is unusual for kids these days. It's more the on the ball and the attacking that ticks their boxes and that excites them. But he just loved defending. Every challenge he faced going through the age groups and in training, he just seemed to find a way to survive.
He certainly was a player that had huge potential. I think his physical attributes and how good he was from a defensive perspective really gave him an opportunity to push on and do well.
There's always been an incredible belief that he was always going to come through from everyone.
We could see it from day one that he was going to go far. He needed a lot of support.
Just tell me the story about what happened to Brentford's academy.
Throughout the season, under 16s, that were playing matches. I was playing with the 18s, so he was playing matches, and it came to the decision time when you get your scholar or not. And then some people got when you get an extension, about 3 months to see whether they're going to give it. Some people got it straight away, some people got released. They offered me my scholar. We signed it, everything. My mum came in, everything. And then a couple months later, they said the academy is going to close. They've made a decision.
It was an odd decision, particularly how strong the academy is and how many fantastic young players it had in it.
I never thought for 1 minute, after investing 5 or 6 years worth of finances, time, effort to put into an academy and to get a really competitive academy. And
I gave him the option, do you want to stay on? He said, to be honest, the coaches I like, a lot of they're all gone, they're all going. So if they're shutting it down, why am I going to stay?
It was just 1 minute it was there, next minute it was gone. It was a culture shock because all I knew was Brentford, and I wasn't really I didn't like new things. So like Brentford was home. Like I didn't want to try nothing else.
For the next 5 weeks was a nightmare. Like every club calling for him afterwards. And I said to him, Tyrick, how well have you been doing lately? So I know you've been doing well, but I didn't realise it was that well. You know, every single club you can think of were calling for him, and it was hard. So he made most of the decisions. Initially, it was to stay in London, out of London. And he said, I don't want to leave my mum, so I want to be as close to my mum. And then that's when we had the conversation with Palace.
I had a phone call from our chairman, Steve Parish, saying that Brentford have shut their academy and some of their players were going to be available. And that moment then I left the course and made a series of phone calls to people that I knew who were working at Brentford at the time.
And to be honest, Gary Issott was very instrumental in him signing. You know, he spoke openly, spoke about the pathway, how keen they were to get him over, how they were in the process of signing him, buying him anyway.
We lost the FA Cup final on the Saturday to Man United, and we had the after party at the Hilton Hotel, which was obviously commiserating the defeat when we were so close. But on the Monday we met Tyrick in the same hotel, and we were in competition with some big clubs, and we convinced him to stay because we felt, you know, there was a path.
Everything Gary said, he's done.
Yeah, I just went to meet Gary. We spoke from there, and then the rest is history.
When I first took the job over as under-18s coach, Tyrick was a first year at the time, quiet lad, but grew in confidence every time he stepped onto a football pitch. That was sort of his place to show the world what he was about. And yeah, great lad, really nice kid. Like I say, quiet off the pitch, but on the pitch, loved winning individual duels and always grew in confidence as soon as he stepped across the white line.
You know, we always say to the coaches, you've got to coach the human being rather than the player, and you have to know people's backgrounds, because everyone's background is a you know, you're a product of your environment and your genetics. And no, Tyrick had a tough start, and you know, you have to be empathetic towards that and understand sometimes why he might not be quite himself.
He had his challenges as a young man, and like I said, he never let that affect his performance. You could see at times where he was a little bit down in himself off the pitch, but I think he found solace in football. And
I thought as a person, Paddy was exactly what Tyrick needed at that particular time. You know, as a coach, I thought Paddy was terrific, and not just his coaching, but his management. He was honest with them, he motivated them, and the tail end of, especially the second year, they had a really good rapport.
Nah, he's a great coach. Like, he's a man motivator. Like, he knows how to get the best out of you, how to manage you. Like, for me personally, like, he helped my development a lot. That season, I think we had a strong team. Like, we was winning games by 4-1, like every game. We was going on winning streaks. Like that season was probably one of my most enjoyable seasons.
You play left back the whole time for the 18s?
That time we was playing 3 at the back, so I was playing left centre back, which was a different kind of role, but I liked it because it was less 1v1s, like, and it was more like you had time on the ball, so it wasn't too bad.
I don't think he's ever really lost a 1v1 duel, certainly not at under-18s level, and again at under-23s very rarely lost a 1v1 duel. And then in possession, just so calm, and that calmness that he has off the pitch, sort of in possession he's calm on the ball, he seems to make the right decisions all the time and doesn't let things fluster him, so I think that's helped him in terms of when he stepped up to the first team. He's just taken it in his stride.
You know, when you just go up and you're kind of like a mannequin, but yeah, I remember it was when Alan Pardew was manager. Yeah, I went up and I was just on the side jumping in here and there, but that's the first time like I actually was around the first team for a session. I was training here and there, but then the first time I kind of stayed to claim a bit was when we played against, I think it was Dulwich Hamlet.
I don't know how you got called up. I think there might be an issue with Papa Suara at the time. There was a friendly against Dulwich, and he played brilliant. You know, it was a select 11, quite a lot of first team. I think that's the year Max Meyer and those guys were first signed, and he played excellent. And I think that's, in my opinion, that was the first time, Roy had a good look at him. And I think since then he always liked him.
I done all right, I done decent. And then from then on, like, I kind of knew myself that if I keep working, I'm gonna get more and more chances to train with them. So from then on, I was always around.
So that's like October 2018. So that season, you're probably playing for the under-23s.
Yeah.
A lot. And then, so the pre-season after that, how much were you involved in?
Is that the one, Switzerland?
Like, yeah, the Switzerland one.
Yeah, I was involved a lot. Like I reported back to the first team and then went out there. Then I got injured. Then from I got injured, it was just a long injury spell from there. Came back in kind of September and then had a little problem with it again and then came back in November. December, came back training. Then I was on the bench for the first time against Brighton, which I was like, it was a dream come true, just being on the bench like with all the fans and everything. It was a great moment for me. And then I got another injury that I went for a scan for, and they said like, you have a little tear in like your hip. So then I was out for like a month, which to be fair, that was one of the hardest.
In my whole time with him, that January was the hardest time because that's when he had the second breakdown and when he was about to come back into the team and start training, and he was so anxious, just saying, what about if I break down again? My career's over.
Whatever God wants for you, like, will happen. So it's just about being patient.
By the time you got through those injuries, you were back around the first team squad and then...
Corona. Yeah, like, then that was a weird one because I was coming back, I was feeling decent, like I was getting back my fitness, and then boom, like we wasn't in for, I don't even know how long it was, like 3 months.
2 months, wasn't it?
Yeah, so that one was a weird one, but I feel like that one was like, not to say COVID was a blessing in disguise, but the whole situation, how we wasn't in, was a blessing in disguise because I was able to like build on my body, like get my body back into the right place. Like, I think that helped me in a weird way.
I was just chilling on the sofa, thinking he's no chance of not getting on. You know, we was a little bit, you know, after the Bournemouth game, we thought, yeah, you know, he might get his chance here and there. When that didn't come, and the next game didn't come, we gave up. And and he was a bit again thinking, oh, I'm never going to play. I said, listen, you don't know, just be available.
I was just sitting there, like, I think we had one more time to make a substitution. So I think we had like 2 more, 3 more, but we had one more occasion to make it. And I was just sitting down, and then I think Townsend went up. So Townsend was already going on, so I'm thinking, oh yeah, so no one else is coming on in it. And then Redders just called my name, and then like it kind of sinks in, you're thinking like, is it me? Like, and then he's like, yeah, come. And then you don't even get to sit down and focus on the feeling, like it just all hits you at one time, and you need to get your stuff off quickly as well.
And then here we saw him against Leicester, and then I see him crunching Justin James, and I thought he was going to get himself sent off, and he's within a couple of minutes.
What was your phone like afterwards?
It was going off. It was going off, followers, messages, everything. So it was a nice feeling. Like it was a proud moment. Like realizing coming from like all like the battles of injuries, just everything, the battles of life, like coming and actually making a dream a reality, even though it might have been 5-10 minutes, like just being on, from watching these guys on Match of the Day to actually stepping on the same pitch as them, like it's what anyone wants to do.
You know, we're all super pleased, you know. You certainly don't do this job for the money, particularly part-time staff. And it's great seeing the boys come through and do well, particularly boys that, you know, are very likeable, very coachable, you know, always very respectful. And people that have been on a tougher journey, and he's certainly one of those players. And
it's incredible. Like we're in a privileged position in terms of the job we do, getting paid to work with these kids, but there is a lot of stress and a lot of unsociable hours and work that goes in. It's absolutely incredible when you see the boys just get on the pitch, you see their name on the shirt, and you see them playing at the highest level in the Premier League against all these names that we know. And you can remember him, this under 12 boy who's shy, couldn't speak to anyone. Nothing kind of gives you that same feelings when you've seen him progress so far. He deserves everything he gets, he thoroughly deserves.
the Brentford Academy deserves huge credit, but even more so as yourselves, you know, how you've taken that boy at youth team level, developed him through the most difficult years, which are the transitional years, and got him into the first team, I think is huge credit, and just shows what you can do when you invest properly into an academy. These are the results you get.
I mean, that's what the whole job is about, is to try and produce players for the first team and to produce players, you know, into the professional game. But to actually see players that have come through your system on the pitch is, you know, it's what everybody in the academy is working towards.
I'm delighted that he's made the step up to the first team now, and he's reaped the rewards for loads of years of hard work when times were tough and challenging. So I think he serves as an inspiration to all young people who have had tough times and will continue to have tough times, that if you keep your head down and you continue to believe in yourself and pursue your passion, that things can happen. And I'm delighted for him, and it's a credit to the staff that we have in the academy, the support staff that don't normally get any sort of praise, but there's a lot of people who put a lot of work in to ensure that it was a safe environment for Tyrick to come in and work, come in and express himself in a way that we knew he could. And like I said, I think there was a picture after the Man United game with him and Bissaka swapping shirts and embracing, and I think that's probably the most inspirational photo I've seen as a Crystal Palace coach. Serves as a great inspiration to all our young players.
How does it feel to be a Premier League footballer?
It hasn't fully sunk in because I feel like I'm still in a position or situation where I'm still trying to prove myself every day. So it's like I'm still trying to make my debut. Do you know what I mean? Like every game feels like a debut. I think in years to come, when I sit down and realise, oh, like I actually played in the Premier League,